It is time for Around the 412 with Smitty and Tyler.
Welcome back to another episode of Around the 412. I am Tyler. With me, as always, is my co-host Smitty. Be sure to go follow us on all of our social medias at Around the 412 and follow us wherever you listen to the show. And if you listen to the show on YouTube, go subscribe to us there and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Also, while you're on YouTube or the listening platforms, go check out some of the links that we have in the descriptions of every show. We've got year 6 of rocking Around the 412 going with the GoFundMe link. Over the past 5 years, we've been able to raise over $25,000 to help provide Christmas for children in our local 724 and 412 area codes. And last year, and continuing into this year, we're going to partner with the East Rochester, PA Salvation Army and adopt kids off their angel tree so we can provide Christmas for those kids as well. So go check out that link, read about the mission, and donate if you can. If not, share the mission because we want to get as many eyeballs on it as possible. Also, while you're there, we've got the Everything Custom Designs link. If you want to be like my mom, go check that out. It's our friend Haley Wagner. She can do customized clothing. I know she has some customized Pittsburgh clothing, Steelers clothing. She can also do some like kitchen aprons, and it's close to Halloween time, and it's getting closer every single day. And she can also do customized trick-or-treat bags for your kids or for yourself. I don't know how old you are listening to the show. Maybe we have like an 8-year-old listening. I have no clue, but you can go check that out. She can get you rolling, just no hats. And you know what I thought about this between the shows? Maybe we should sue Everything Custom Designs, everything but a hat.
Everything but a hat, custom designs. Also, if you're 8 years old, hopefully you didn't watch the Around the 412 Steelers show that we just recorded prior to this. So, or at least like around the 30-minute mark, probably, just tune out of that portion of the show. But this is the Around the 412 Penguins show. Hope you guys are enjoying the way that we break up the show throughout the week. Typically Tuesday Steelers, Wednesday Penguins, Thursday Pirates has been the way that we're going. Continuing on with that for the foreseeable future. The preseason started for the Penguins. Pretty crazy. We're so excited about football season going on right now. Pretty soon we're going to be able to pair it with Penguins hockey. I think there's some extra buzz in the air, obviously, with the offseason. Kyle Dubas, first offseason in the front office role, bringing in Erik Karlsson. I think there's a ton of buzz right now. Let's start with Erik Karlsson. I want to get into like things that you're excited about, the preseason stuff, but since I mentioned his name, I'll just ask this now. We can go from here. Mike Sullivan talked about this, maybe to the surprise of some people, not necessarily me, to at least start the season. Erik Karlsson and Kris Letang, he said, are both going to be on the top power play unit. Is that something that you expected to be the case? Are you expecting that Sullivan's already like tipping his hand and saying that's going to be the case? Where are you at with this?
Well, first off, I'll say I don't even think it should matter whether he tips his hand or not. That's a crime from Todd Reardon if he's not able to get the power play going with the individual players that he's got on it, whether he says flat out, this is our power play or not. But does this surprise me? No, not really, just because we kind of questioned it before, right? Like we were talking about who is going to step up while Jake is out of the lineup to fill in that spot on that top power play. And we questioned whether they just roll with both defensemen. And then you have send down one of the better forwards still onto the second power play. I think that is actually the right move. That's the move I would go with. We criticize the defensive play of Erik Karlsson for sure, and still, Kris Letang is still definitely more offensive than he is defensive, but I still feel like it's better to sometimes, especially from what we've seen over the past couple years from this power play, to be able to put those guys on there and at least know that you have two defenders at the point of the power play, feel a little more comfortable that you're not going to get those shorthanded goals against, like we've seen so many times. The Penguins have been burned so many times, especially against their top power play unit, where they have let up so many shorthanded goals. So maybe that's a little bit of a security blanket that they have, while also having a defenseman that scored 100 points and then also Kris Letang on that top power play. And even when Jake comes back, if they wanted to stick with having that as our top power play unit, where you have both of those guys on there, I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea. I think that you could have some value in putting, say, for example, those two up there, and then you have Jake, Sid, and Malkin on the top power play. That's your top power play unit. Then you have a pretty strong second power play unit too, with guys like Riley Smith, Brian Rust. I'm assuming Jeff Carter will still be on that second power play unit. I think that opens up. Oh, Rickard Rakell, I'm forgetting him. I think it opens up some more options as well. Maybe not necessarily the route they go when Jake comes back, but I think to open the season, in my opinion, this is the smart move to do and is the correct one.
Well, yeah, you hit on the point that I wanted to make is no Jake Guentzel to start the season. So it's almost I was expecting that they would both be on there to start the season. I think it's going to be a question of do both of them stay on the top unit when Guentzel comes back? Because who do you take off? To me, the one that it would be is Rickard Rakell. He's got the best shot out of them, though. Like I think you want that shot, to be that like getting open on the circle. Just seems to have a knack for finding space there around the dot. And the way that he can rip a one-timer, I don't know that you want to take that off the top unit. So I think when Guentzel comes back, they are going to be on different units. Because actually, I shouldn't say that. I hope that they are, because I would keep Gino, Rakell, Crosby, Jake, and then probably Karlsson on the first unit, and see how a Letang, Rust. I would actually probably use 2 defensemen on the second unit. I think I would play like a Marcus Pettersson to give Letang some leeway. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like having a conversation with myself. Would it make more sense, because of Karlsson not being the best in his own end, to be the one on a power play unit with 2 defensemen deployed?
I think it could be. And if Pettersson was the other guy on that power play, that's his partner.
Yeah.
Or expected partner. So maybe that is the case where you do that. But I think your forwards are correct. I think that that's the case. That's the top power play that you have. The forwards don't change. And then if you're going with 3 forwards, I would expect it would be Rust, Rakell, and Riley Smith on that second power play if you're rolling 2 defensemen.
Riley Smith, yeah. Well, I keep forgetting that Riley Smith's on this team. Like,
we made the trade, and then I feel like everything after that,
it was like the first domino. That's the thing. Like, it was very early.
It didn't really make sense. It was very early. You forget it happened, and everybody's been so worried about what the bottom 6 is like. We were so worried about Erik Karlsson. We were so worried about Thomas Tatar. Like, we just kind of forgot that we have Riley Smith. Yeah, and he's a top 6 forward.
Yeah, very important for this team this upcoming season, by the way. Yeah, so I think that we're on the same page. We both think that this is the route to go to at least start the season, and we'll see how things shake out when Guentzel comes back. Mentioned that the preseason has started now. Played 2 games on one day against the Blue Jackets this past Sunday. They're playing against the Red Wings actually right now. The time
both those games went to overtime, by the way. Won a shootout.
Yeah, really weird. And tonight's game was 4-3 Red Wings the last time I looked. So we'll see if the Penguins can force overtime in this one. What are you looking for, though, in the preseason? I don't know how much we're going to see of, like, the stars. Obviously, they're going to play at some point a little bit. They always do. But is there anything in particular, whether it's like a certain player or a certain thing that you're looking for? Like, where are your eyes going to be?
I'm looking for somebody that is expected to be at the AHL level, make an argument for me to say they should be at the NHL level. And I'm not talking about the guys like Nieto, Achari, like some of the guys that we expect to be in the bottom 6, but I'm talking about guys like Radim Zohorna, Valtteri Puustinen, Colin White, Sam Poulin. I mean, there's multiple guys in the bottom in what the AHL fringe level player where I'm looking for them to actually show me that they could play in the NHL and they could be on the Penguins roster if they need to be. I want some of these guys because we have several people that we've signed this offseason that that they're going to be in the bottom 6 and some of them might be in the press box during some of the games, but like our bottom 6 is very much filled out, and we've even said that you're really only looking for like one more player to be in that. But I mean, injuries happen and the poor play happens. I want to see if someone like Valtteri Puustinen can make that final push to be a full-time NHL player or get a crack at a real shot at the NHL. I want to see if Colin White, where I thought when they signed him, like that's actually an interesting PTO offer. I want to see if he could fill in that bottom 6 role and be one of the last guys in there. Radim Zohorna back in the Penguins organization. We've seen him at the NHL. I want to see if he can make a push. And the Sam Poulin, to me, is the one that is the one that is so do or die at this point because it's 2023. We are starting the 2023 season. This dude was drafted in the first round of 2019. It's the time is ticking and it's almost crunch time where like it's either now or never for Sam Poulin. I feel like. I know he hasn't played like several seasons in the NHL level. He's only played a true like 2 seasons, but I feel like from what we were hoping we got in 2019. Now, granted, a lot of things change when they actually get into professional hockey and you see them play and circumstances can change. But I feel like it's do or die for a guy like him. So you got to be able to show the Penguins that you've got something to provide for this organization. So, I mean, those are a few of the names where I'm not necessarily looking at the guys we've signed in the offseason where we know that they're going to be on the roster. I'm looking at the guys that are in the organization that are probably going to be AHLers, but I want to see what they can do and if they can light a spark to where to say, hey, if someone gets injured, I feel comfortable with this guy playing in the NHL level.
I mean, you took the 2 names that I was thinking of immediately in Sam Poulin and Valtteri Pustin, and both of which actually have goals tonight in the game that's being played as the time of recording this. We haven't talked a lot about those guys. You know, Pustin in a little bit. Poulin we really haven't talked about in terms of a guy that could play in the NHL level and crack the bottom 6 this year. It just seems like they signed way too many guys. He's fighting an uphill battle, but like you mentioned, it probably is now or never. I mean, if he's not an NHL player relatively consistently at some point this year, I feel like the writing's on the wall for his future as a Penguin. I'll be honest, I tend to lean that way already anyway, but like it really has to happen this year if it's ever going to happen. So I'll say that. And then something that we talked about too, just to maybe vary a little bit differently. I wasn't even planning on bringing this up, but like it did occur to me going based off a conversation that we had last week, that backup goalie battle, because I do think it seems like there is a legit one behind Tristan Jarry. These guys are going to be playing. Alex Nedeljkovic, Magnus Hellberg. Which one is going to take that spot? So I'll say that that's probably something to keep my eye on too. And then in terms of like when we do see the regulars playing, we just talked about the power play. What's it going to look like with those guys actually playing together on the ice? Let's see what that unit looks like. I think there's a ton of pressure that's not being talked about on Todd Reirden this season. I know that he did just get put into a different role, a little bit of a promotion before last season. But man, you talk about now or never. It's really now or never for that unit to be a top, get back to at least the level when Phil Kessel was here, because they haven't been that since he left. So I think they need to be like a top 10 at the minimum unit in order to be able to say like Todd Reirden is doing his job with that unit.
I agree. I think it's mentioned Poulin now or never. It's now or never for Todd Reirden. When you've had the talent that you have had on that, especially the top unit, because I feel like at times the second unit has looked better than the top unit when it comes to the Penguins power play in several games throughout the past few seasons. And so when you look at the talent that you have on that top unit, you should be able to figure out a scheme that will work for your power play, where you don't need to rely on a Phil Kessel to be able to run it. And when he's gone, you have no idea what to do. You shouldn't be able you shouldn't have to have a specific player in your power play for it to run successfully. You should be able to adapt your power play to the players you have, especially players of the caliber that the Penguins have had. So time's ticking, Todd. You need to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like this isn't even speaking from like an organizational perspective, because I don't know, would they move on this year if the power plays a flop? I'm not sure that they would, but
I'd
just
send him to the Sun.
From a fan base perspective, there's certainly a growing impatience there with that unit to be what we feel like it should, given the talent that they had. When you add an Erik Karlsson to that, man, I think the pressure's really on from the fan base for them to perform. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to see in the preseason. I don't think that there really is. We'll see what like the line combinations look like. I think as we get closer to like the end of the preseason, we'll have an idea when those regulars start playing what they want to look like on opening night and see how close it is to. We put out that video last week, which actually did relatively well on YouTube. So thanks everybody for watching, liking, continue to do that. Do that on this video as well. We'll see how close we are to. Actually, let me bring up somebody's comment, because somebody commented on the video and gave their own projections. So we'll see where that stacks up, because if I'm going to tell you guys to comment, I might as well read it when people comment. So let me pull that up. Actually, I'm in the process of doing something else on YouTube, so this is going to take me a second. All right, here we go. Oh, great first name. Zachary DeRosa here says, I would say, they have Poulin on here.
Oh, really?
Andreas Janssen or Poulin is one of them. Crosby, Rakell, Riley Smith, Malkin, Rust, O'Connor, Eller, Nylander, Nieto, Achari, Carter, Graves, Letang, Pettersson, Karlsson, POJ, Ruedel, Jari, and Nedeljkovic. So if they have Janssen or Poulin, actually, if it's Janssen, that's the exact same as me, I believe. Yeah. If it's Poulin, that's great for him. If he can crack the NHL
Poulin,
roster,
that is
right out of the gate.
If Poulin makes the NHL roster out of the gate, that's a surprise, but a welcome one to be sure. Because, like I said, we drafted this guy in 2019. He was the first round pick for the Penguins.
For a team that doesn't keep first round picks.
This is his 5th season since being drafted. If we're waiting 5 seasons, I mean, what are we? The Pirates? No, we're the Penguins. We got to get these guys to the NHL. So, no, he's got to do it now. But I will say he had a goal in his first game of the preseason, has a goal tonight or yesterday when you're listening to this, depending on when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe he will impress Mike Sullivan enough to be on the opening roster.
Man, yeah, it certainly would be a welcome surprise for sure. Not something that I'm going to predict, but if he can do it, more power to him. And it'd be interesting to see where he slots in within the lineup too, because there's some opening there without Jake Guentzel. So we'll see if it would be, in a middle 6 role or if he's strictly a 4th liner. I don't know that he really fits like that 4th line mold though. I think he would be on the 3rd.
He's the 3rd line guy. That's where I view him.
Yeah. Imagine if they were like, we don't want to change anything about our lineup other than Jake being absent. You're playing on the top line with Sid and Rakell.
He'd probably be crapping his pants.
I mean, you want to talk, throwing him into the fire.
That's what happened. Speaking to Jake, that's what happened with Jake. Jake looked up and he's going to be on the line with Gino and Phil. It's in his first game. So he scored 2 goals.
And then it'd be hilarious
for him.
It'd be hilarious if the team just was red hot, started out so well. Sid was having a huge season. Jake comes back and Sid's like, "Hey, sorry, pal, lost your spot."
Sorry, we're trading you.
All right. Anything else as it pertains to the Penguins?
No, I don't think so. Just interested to see what some of these guys are able to do in the preseason. Some of the guys that we're not expecting to be on the roster.
How long does the preseason last? Like, how many games are they going to play over a span of time? Like, when?
They have 4 more games after this one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's until October 6th.
I don't know if you remember from past years at all, but when would you think that we see some of the regulars? We've seen some of the guys that might play in the NHL, but
I think that you'll see an actual NHL lineup when we play the Detroit Red Wings on Wednesday, October 4th. That's the second to last game.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Well, that's that'll be a week from tomorrow. So it'll be when next week's episode comes out.
Yep.
There we go. All right. Well, we will see how things shake out. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Leave us a like, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any video that we put out. Again, hope you guys are enjoying the way that we break up the show throughout the week. Steelers, Penguins, then Pirates, 3 straight days. If you were listening somewhere else, leave us a 5-star review, do all that good stuff. You can find us on any listening platform. Check out the description of the show where we have some links. Year 6 of Rocking Around the 412 going on. We raised $25,000 the first 5 years of doing so, giving kids in the 724 and 412 area codes the Christmases that Tyler and I had growing up, never had to worry about, and that they deserve. All along with that, we've also partnered up with the East Rochester Salvation Army. They do their Angel Tree program at Christmas time, and we've been doing that since last year in the name of our late friend Dalton Keene, his girlfriend Kaylee, their daughter Isla, helping out with us going forward as well. They were a big part of it, actually the inspiration for it last year. So we want to have them continue to be a part of it and do it going forward. So excited for this year. We've raised, 1,500-ish so far this year. So you can still get involved. Obviously, you're going to have that go probably 2 weeks-ish before Christmas. So I have time to know exactly how much money we got, get the stuff as well that I need to. And if you donate, you'll be eligible to win some really cool Pittsburgh sports related prizes that I do not have yet, but as I do, you will see them posted on our X account. So follow us there, of course, at Around the 412. And also check out Everything Custom Designs, our friend Haley Wagner, her Facebook and Etsy, both down below. Get anything that you want customized except for hats.
One thing specific to the show when we're talking about gifts or prizes, not necessarily gifts, you will have Penguin tickets as one of the prizes. We've had that for several years, specific to this show because this is the Penguin show. Thought I should mention that. There will be Penguin tickets again. I believe we've given away tickets every single year we've done that, so someone will be winning some Penguin tickets as well.
And I know a lot of the stuff we do is like autograph stuff, whether it's from, Total Sports Enterprises or Pristine Auctions. But I'm so fired up about this edition. We can make one of the prizes for sure in our Karlsson jersey. So I won't purchase that ahead of time because obviously the person could be a size that, I don't know what size the person that wins is going to be, but we'll make sure that that's one of the prizes as well.
Sick.
But yeah. All right. So thanks for tuning in. Again, like, subscribe, notification bell, 5-star review, all that good stuff. Stuff that every person that puts videos on YouTube and puts out content says at the beginning and end of their videos. Go do that for us. Go watch another video that's popping up right now, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.